This is the 181st Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. It appears in Tractate Batra 166b. A Taiku is an unresolved, unanswered question that will be answered in the end times, according to the tradition. Batra 166b, it says, Ela shtei oisios hainu taima Dilma Misra Mishem ben Shalosh Oisios Yohela Ruba Dishma. The Gemara explains, rather, this is the reason that when two letters are missing, the name written below cannot be corrected from the name written above. The concern is that perhaps it will occur by chance that there is a three-letter name, and the omission of two letters would be a majority of the name. The sages applied this concern to all cases where two letters are missing. The Gemara continues to discuss discrepancies between the information written above and below in a document. Rav Papa said, "It is obvious to me that if a document states above that one owes a sefel, a type of cup, and below it states kefel, a type of garment, everything is determined by the information written below. In this case, there is not missing a letter at the bottom, but an altered letter. Therefore, the information written below is not corrected from the information written above." Rav Papa raises a dilemma which will result in the 181st Taiku. And that is, Kefil milamala, the Sefer milamata mai, mi chashina nezvuv, or lo Taiku. Rav Papa asks, what if it's stated Kefil above and Sefil below? The difference between the two words is that the former begins with Kuf, whereas the latter begins with Samach. The orthographical difference between these two letters is a single stroke that extends downward, as the omission of the extension of this stroke would change Kuf into Samach. Rav Papa's dilemma is, are we concerned for the possibility that a fly landed on the stroke of Kuf, removing the ink and changing it into a Samach? Are we concerned for the possibility that a fly landed on the stroke of the Kuf, removing the ink? What flies are we talking about? Flies can't remove ink. If a fly lands on ink, it doesn't remove it. I don't understand what he was asking. Maybe he thought that it would. Who knows? Removing the ink and changing it into a samach. And furthermore, how do you change a kuf into a samach? It doesn't make sense at all to me. And I bet there's no one that I could even ask that would have the patience to answer this. Does anybody really care? The question is, why am I doing this at all? Why am I saying these taikus? I mean, I've been doing this for over 6 months now. I mean, this is the 181st. That's 6 months. Every day I've been doing a taiku. And I need to always ask myself why I'm doing it. But one thing I can say why I am doing it, and it's not necessarily about the taiku itself. It's about what the taiku stands for. And the taiku is something that is connected to the ultimate redemption, the coming of Messiah. So every time I get to mention that the Messiah will come, and all of our questions, whatever they may be, our personal taikus in life, why we struggle with what we struggle with, why we are challenged by what we are challenged. We don't know why. To us, it's taiku. We don't know the answer. We just need to deal with it. I think from that standpoint alone, these taikus are symbolic. They're meaningful because they represent these inner questions that we all have that we don't have the answer to. And if it can drive us a little bit closer to the Messiah, and if it can make us a little bit more interested in the Messiah, enough to want the Messiah enough to answer our questions, even though the tradition is that Elijah will answer the questions, but I think it's really about the Messiah.